Have you ever wondered how car companies manage to keep their brand new models a complete secret before that big, flashy reveal? Well, today, we're going to unlock the vault and take a peek inside the billion-dollar world of prototype security. I mean, really think about it. Before any new car ever shows up in a dealership, it's already spent years out on the road as a top-secret test vehicle. You've probably seen them, those ghost-like cars all wrapped up in crazy black and white camouflage. But hiding one of these things, well, it's a massive industrial-scale operation. It's a high-stakes game of corporate defense that starts way, way before the rubber ever meets the road. You see, at the heart of all this is intellectual property. We're talking billions of dollars in research and development. Just one leaked photo, one little slip-up, can give a competitor a massive head start, and that could literally cost a company a fortune in lost sales. So you can bet that for the really important projects, the security measures are absolutely extreme. All right, so where does this all begin? Well, the protection starts long before a single piece of metal is ever shaped. It all begins by building a physical fortress, not just for the car, but for the idea of the car itself. And this fortress, it's not just one big wall. Think of it more like a Russian nesting doll of security. There are layers within layers, and each one is designed to stop an intruder, or at the very least, slow them down, making it harder and harder to get anywhere close to the prize. So that first line of defense? The property line. The goal here is brutally simple. Keep everybody out who isn't supposed to be there. We're talking high fences, sophisticated motion detectors. They even use things like dense forests or hills as a natural barrier. Let's say you somehow get past the perimeter. Well, now you're up against the building itself, which is basically a reinforced box. The windows, the doors, everything is designed to withstand a brute force attack from someone with, a crowbar or a drill. And this is where it gets really clever. It's not just about keeping people out. It's about preventing anyone from even seeing inside. Every window is specially treated. Every single doorway is angled just right to block the line of sight. And of course, the entire place is being watched 24/7 by a professional security service. Okay, so you've built your physical fortress. That's great. But what about the people working inside? The strongest walls in the world don't matter if someone on the inside talks. And that's where the human firewall comes in. The absolute foundation of this human firewall is the non-disclosure agreement, the NDA. And I mean, everyone signs one, from the top engineers designing the engine all the way down to the person who cleans the floors at night. They are all bound by a legally enforceable contract of total silence. And this doesn't just apply to people, it applies to entire companies they partner with. This whole system creates this really rigid chain of command for secrecy. The main company holds its contractors accountable, and then those contractors have to do the exact same thing for their own subcontractors. It's like a waterfall of responsibility. And you better believe there's a paper trail and document and proof required at every single step. No weak lease allowed. And listen, it's not enough to just sign a piece of paper on your first day. Nope. Every single team member has to go through regular, mandatory training. They are constantly drilled on everything from how to properly handle a physical prototype to understanding the exact camouflage measures they need to use. You think your phone is your own personal device? Not in here, it's not. There are incredibly strict rules for mobile phones. In some of the most secure areas, you actually have to seal your phone in a special tamper-proof bag just to bring it in with you. And using the camera? Absolutely forget about it. That's a huge no-go. All right, now we get to the most vulnerable stage of all. This is when the prototype finally has to leave the nest and go out for real-world testing. This is where security has to get even more intense, creating a fortress on the move. Moving one of these prototypes is basically a covert mission. We're talking about using only pre-approved high-security logistics companies. The car has to be wrapped in specific camouflage designed to hide its true shape. And they can only park it or store it overnight in locations that have been vetted and approved as secure. A public test drive is not some casual joyride. It is a carefully choreographed event from start to finish. The vehicle is prepped, the test drivers have to follow a super strict code of conduct, they can only drive on pre-approved routes, and there is a detailed plan in place for any kind of incident, no matter how small. So this obviously brings up a huge question, right? With all this insane planning, what happens when things go horribly and unpredictably wrong? What's the plan if there's a crash? Or worse, if someone tries to steal the car? Well, there's a playbook for that too. It's called a code of conduct for special incidents. And check out the priorities. Step 1, secure the asset. That's the vehicle and all the data inside. Step 2, make sure the team is safe. But step 3 is just as critical. Prevent anyone from taking photos or even getting a good look. They'll use giant tarps, whatever it takes to shield the vehicle while someone is immediately reporting the incident up the chain of command. So when you start putting all these pieces together, the physical fortress, that human firewall, and all the protocols for when the car is on the move, you end up with something much bigger than just a list of rules. What you get is a complete and total security mindset. Now, what this really boils down to is a core principle of shared responsibility. It's not just the job of the security guard at the gate to keep the secret. No, it's on every single person involved in the project. They are all accountable for security all the time. And this right here is probably the most important takeaway from all of this. Real effective prototype protection isn't just a checklist you go through once. It's a living, breathing culture of vigilance. Secrecy is baked into the DNA of the project, into every single process and every decision, creating this holistic shield around the company's most valuable assets. It kind of leaves you with one last thought, doesn't it? If this is the incredible, almost unbelievable level of effort that goes into protecting the design of a new car, just try to imagine all the other worlds of secrecy and security that are operating all around us every single day, completely out of sight.